Oh, great morning. It's going to be a hot one today, I can tell you that. So this morning, I want to talk about, somebody just said, and I'm sure they mean well, that they did Kundalini in 7th grade and they highly recommend it. I did Kundalini. Well, you've never done Kundalini, okay? You don't do Kundalini. So 9 out of 10, they're talking about doing a stretching class that they call Kundalini Yoga, which is a total misnomer. That has nothing to do with genuine Kundalini. They know nothing about it, okay? So they put the cart before the horse. How they got the postures to begin with is somebody that had a genuine Kundalini awakening. What happens with that is the body moves spontaneously. Okay? Understand you're sitting there and all of a sudden the body is starting to move. It's doing mudras. It's doing all these things. You're doing these yoga moves. But on its own. Not something that you're trying to put into motion. It just happens. So what it's doing is connecting pathways and then releasing other energetic things. Sometimes you can have Kundalini that's basically throwing you around the room, expressing energy, releasing some energy. Okay? Kundalini is not something you pick up and put down. Once it's activated, it goes for years, 24/7. There is no on and off switch for it. So to think that you do Kundalini, and you did Kundalini in the 7th grade, no, you know nothing about Kundalini, okay? So it's one of my pet peeves. People take a yoga class. They're doing basically stretches. They're being given a little philosophy, and they're being told they're doing Kundalini Yoga. Now, yoga means a yoking of the mind, okay? Kundalini, genuine Kundalini path, is a yoking with Kundalini, activating it. They're not activating anything. They're stretching muscles. Okay? So again, when it's genuine Kundalini, these things spontaneously take place. Okay? And so that's the difference. They may be trying to do a fire breath. Well, that's dangerous if you have an actual active Kundalini awakening. You need to balance things. Okay? Genuine Kundalini awakening, you're going to feel like you're going to spontaneously combust. You're going to be seeing visions. Okay? And like I said, this is 24/7. 24/7. That it will put you in altered states of consciousness. You're going to go through the 7 layers of consciousness, or the chakras, what they want to call chakras. Okay? 7 layers of consciousness to progress through them. And again, it's a 24/7 modality. You're going to hear things. For me, when things had opened, like I said, I went into prayers in an esoteric Christian order, and the light went straight through my body, nailed me to the floor, and I was seeing auras. I never saw auras before. I went into a spontaneous Samadhi state for 3 days. I had no idea what a Samadhi state was, okay? But I was in this expansion of consciousness. Then things quieted down for a few years. Then all of a sudden I sat down to meditate one day and it reactivated, and that was it. 30 years. 30-year journey. From that point, I was there at night. All of a sudden, I'm hearing all these birds, and I was married at the time. Tell my husband, I wish those birds would shut up so I could sleep. He said, what birds? It's the middle of the night. There are no birds. I'm hearing birds, okay? For almost a year, it felt like I would spontaneously combust. That's how hot the energy is. All of a sudden, you'll have knowledge imported, okay? All of a sudden, it opened up how to do energy work. It just opened like that. Didn't go to a Reiki class or any of that. It just spontaneously opens, okay? So it's a long walk, a long journey, 30 years. You don't do Kundalini in 7th grade and think you've done something, okay? You did an exercise class, okay, with stretches. So this is one of my pet peeves, that they had the nerve to call a stretching class and equate it with a Kundalini path. They really have nothing to do with one another. That's like wearing a cross, but you really have nothing to do with genuine Christianity or a spiritual path. Okay? It's about to that level. Okay? So I'm not trying to put you down in saying this, but you don't do Kundalini. Okay? You do a stretching class, okay, which is mistakenly called Kundalini because they use, they're using postures that came out of genuine Kundalini path. But like I said, when you're in a genuine Kundalini path, those things happen spontaneously, and you do not take a yoga class if you're in the midst of Kundalini, because it needs to spontaneously connect what it needs to connect and release what it needs to release. And trying to put those things into motion, you can mess yourself up. Okay? So in a genuine Kundalini, again, you're going to have visions, different states of consciousness. 1 second you could be in the body, the next second you can be out of the body. You'll have all these mystical experiences, okay? And it's a long journey, not to promote ego, but to show the fallacy of it and to take one back to that primary consciousness of realization, okay? Now, if people are using it, and I say do not do third eye meditations because you're doing astral realms, and it's just, again, one of these last stumbling blocks that can take place. Because the mind is very creative. What the mind focuses on, it's going to create more and more of the same. That's what the energy is put out. So you don't do third eye meditations because it's, again, another stumbling block. Trying to create cities. The greatest city is being a city master, which means going beyond the cities. Not developing them, but going beyond them. Yes, some cities arise naturally, or these energetic happenings, these powers, these, if you want to call them that, they arise on their own. And the further you go, they fall away because you find out what they are. They are, again, another path of illusion in duality. But they have nothing to do with the genuine zero balance, I call it the 0 point balance, or the divine is, in its perfection. Okay? These are only outcomes of motion. Just like you get different colors based on the wavelength of the energy, how fast it's moving or how slow it's moving, or how something seems more solid the slower it's moving. But you'll have all these things. I remember sitting there and all of a sudden something came by my ear and went, and I jumped. It was audible. And then again, you have different sounds that are coming in. It started with birds, then you may hear some music, you may hear bells, you may hear, all of these things begin to take place. Which I assure you, none of those take place when you're taking a yoga class. Okay? Kundalini is not a class. Genuine Kundalini is a path. It's not something that you take as a class. Okay? It's not a class. It's an ongoing, internal, spiritual journey that takes 100% dedication to continue forward in. So I just wanted to put that out there, because this is, again, one of my pet peeves, when people think that they're actually having anything to do with Kundalini, when really they have nothing at all to do with it. They know nothing at all about it. They're just taking a stretching class, which is called it Kundalini. Okay? Oh my goodness. Yep, right up there with wearing a cross and have nothing to do with Christianity. So on that note, I'll leave that here. I just want to try to educate people out there so that they understand the difference of one to another. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you online.